Have you ever contemplated the value of the world beneath your feet, the food on your plate, or the energy that powers your devices? These are all manifestations of natural resources, the lifeblood of our existence. They come in many forms and from various sources, but today we'll focus on four main categories: mineral, food, energy, and land resources. Each holds a unique role in our daily lives and in the world at large. Now let's delve deeper into each category and realize their significance. From the smartphone in your hand to the car you drive, mineral resources play a vital role in our lives. These hidden treasures, buried deep within the Earth's crust, are the unsung heroes of our everyday conveniences. So let's take a moment to appreciate these mineral marvels. The process of extracting and exploiting mineral resources is an intricate dance between technology and geology. Mining, the primary method of extraction, involves a series of complex operations. These include surveying, drilling, blasting, loading, and hauling. It's a labor-intensive, technologically driven process that requires a deep understanding of the Earth's geology. However, it's not all glitz and glamour. Extracting these resources has significant environmental implications. The act of mining itself can lead to habitat destruction, soil erosion, groundwater contamination, and air pollution. It's a balancing act of harnessing resources without compromising the health of our planet. Let's take the case of gold mining in South Africa, for instance. It's an industry that has been a significant economic driver for the country. Yet, it has also led to severe environmental degradation. Acid mine drainage, a byproduct of gold mining, has contaminated water sources, adversely impacting aquatic life and human health. It's a stark reminder that the exploitation of mineral resources is a double-edged sword. Over in the United States, the story of coal mining in Appalachia paints a similar picture. While it fueled the American Industrial Revolution and provided jobs for local communities, it also resulted in extensive deforestation, water pollution, and health hazards for miners. These examples underscore the importance of sustainable mining practices. It's not just about extracting what we need, but doing so in a way that minimizes environmental impact. This includes proper waste management, habitat restoration, and adopting cleaner, more efficient mining technologies. Just as minerals are essential, so too are the resources that fuel our body's food. Have you ever thought about where your food comes from and the resources involved in its production? It's a question that might seem simple, but it opens up a Pandora's box of complexities. Let's start with the global food scenario. While our planet produces enough food to feed everyone, almost 1 in 9 people go to bed hungry every night. This is largely due to the uneven distribution of resources and wealth, and the impact of climate change on agriculture. Now let's delve into the changes brought about by agriculture. Traditional farming methods have been replaced by modern, intensive agriculture. This has led to an increase in food production, but it's not all good news. Overgrazing and deforestation, driven by the demand for more agricultural land, are causing soil erosion and loss of biodiversity. Modern agriculture has its own share of problems. It's heavily reliant on chemical fertilizers and pesticides. While these boost crop yields in the short term, they have a detrimental effect on the soil and the wider environment in the long run. For instance, the excessive use of fertilizers in Punjab, India, has led to soil degradation and declining crop yields. Waterlogging and salinity are other issues that farmers grapple with. In the Indus Valley in Pakistan, improper irrigation techniques have resulted in waterlogged fields and increased soil salinity, reducing the land's productivity. These are just a few examples of the challenges we face in sustaining our food supply. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are solutions like organic farming, agroforestry, and permaculture that can provide sustainable alternatives to the problems we've discussed. The key is to strike a balance between our need for food and the need to protect and conserve our natural resources. Because the reality is, if we don't take care of our planet, it won't be able to take care of us. From feeding ourselves, we move to powering our world. The energy that lights up our cities and homes, where does it come from? You might be surprised to know that it's a mix of renewable and non-renewable sources. Let's start with our growing energy needs. As our world population increases and our technological advancements skyrocket, our thirst for energy is insatiable. We're always on the hunt for new ways to power our lives, from the electricity that keeps our homes warm to the fuel that drives our vehicles. Non-renewable energy sources like coal, oil, and natural gas have been the traditional heavyweights. They've powered our cities and industries for centuries, but they come with a hefty environmental cost. Their extraction and use release harmful greenhouse gases, contributing to climate change. Plus, they're finite. Once we've used them up, they're gone for good. Then there's renewable energy, the new kid on the block. These are sources that constantly replenish themselves. Sun, wind, water, and geothermal energy fall into this category. They're cleaner, greener, and offer a sustainable alternative to their non-renewable counterparts. Take Denmark, for example. This small European nation is a trailblazer in wind energy. More than 40% of its electricity comes from wind turbines, and they're aiming to push that number to 100% by 2050. But it's not all smooth sailing. Transitioning to renewable energy is a complex process. It requires significant investment, infrastructure, and policy support. And even then, renewable energy sources have their own challenges, like variability and storage. A promising solution is the use of alternate energy sources. Bioenergy, hydrogen power, and tidal energy are just a few of these. They're still in their early stages, but with technological advancements and increased research, they could play a significant role in our energy future. Take a look at Sweden. They're using waste to generate bioenergy, turning a problem into a solution. It's a win-win situation. They're reducing landfill and creating energy. At the same time, our last category, land, is the bedrock of all these resources. Land, a resource we walk on every day, but do we truly understand its value? Land, an asset we often take for granted, is a precious resource that supports biodiversity, provides raw materials, and sustains agriculture. But our land is under threat. Every second, an area the size of a football field is degraded due to human activities and natural phenomena. This process, known as land degradation, is a global concern, as it not only leads to reduced agricultural productivity, but also disrupts ecosystems and biodiversity. Man-induced landslides are a striking example of how our actions can directly harm the land. These disasters, often triggered by deforestation and poorly planned construction, can cause massive soil displacement, loss of life, and property damage. By respecting the natural topography and maintaining vegetation cover, we can mitigate these destructive consequences. Another major challenge is soil erosion. This phenomenon, where soil particles are swept away by wind or water, is exacerbated by poor farming practices and deforestation. As the fertile topsoil is eroded, agricultural production decreases, leading to food insecurity and economic loss. Desertification, the degradation of land in arid, semi-arid, and dry subhumid areas, is another issue of grave concern. It is primarily caused by overgrazing, deforestation, and inappropriate agricultural practices. As the land turns into a barren desert, it can no longer support life, leading to displacement of people and loss of biodiversity. We're also witnessing an alarming rate of deforestation. Forests, our planet's lungs, are being cut down for timber, agriculture, and urbanization. This not only leads to loss of habitat for millions of species, but also exacerbates climate change. So how do we address these challenges? By adopting sustainable land management practices. This includes agroforestry, terracing, crop rotation, and other techniques that protect the soil, prevent erosion, and maintain fertility. Now that we've explored these resources, what can we do to protect them? As individuals, we can play a significant role by reducing our consumption, reusing and recycling, and advocating for policies that promote sustainable land use. Remember, the health of our land is the health of our future. The responsibility of preserving these resources lies with us, the individuals. We are not mere spectators in this grand theatre of life. We are active participants, and our actions shape the world around us. Every choice we make, every action we take, has an impact on our natural resources. It's in the food we eat, the water we drink, the energy we consume, and the land we inhabit. Our choices can either preserve these resources or deplete them. Consider the way we use energy. By switching to renewable sources like wind or solar, we can reduce our dependence on non-renewable resources. By making small changes in our daily lives, like turning off lights when we leave a room or using public transport instead of our own cars, we can significantly reduce our energy consumption. Similarly, our food choices matter. By reducing our meat consumption, we can help lower greenhouse gas emissions and reduce overgrazing. By choosing locally sourced produce, we can support sustainable farming practices. Our role in preserving land resources is equally crucial. We can prevent soil erosion and desertification by planting trees and reducing deforestation. We can also help manage disasters like floods and earthquakes by being prepared and following safety guidelines. In essence, conservation is about making conscious, sustainable choices. It's about understanding the impact of our actions and making decisions that benefit not just us, but the world around us. Remember, the future of these resources is in our hands. Conservation starts with you. We've journeyed through the world of natural resources, from under our feet to the food on our plates. We've delved into the marvels of minerals, the fundamentals of food, and the essentials of energy. We've explored our land legacy and made a call for conservation action. We've looked at how each one of us can contribute to sustainable living and disaster management. It's a vast world out there, but every small step counts. Subscribe for more because you won't find me later. Together, we can make a difference.